Hello everybody! Welcome back to episode 3 of It's Called a Podcast, Sweetheart. I'm Andy Lagopis.
And I'm Pinkstar, so glad to be here.
And we have something special for you today. So, I know we said last time we were probably going to do Christmas Needs More Cilantro, but we decided to go a bit of a different route this time. We wanted to see about getting Kolkov on for that episode, but we wanted to, do a few more episodes before that. So, this time, we've got something special for you. But, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you to all of our Patreon members over on our Patreon, and encourage you to please check it out. Patreon.com/ZNN. We will definitely be updating it to have some more goals and such, but if we can get to $150, we will do a special episode based on you guys' suggestions.
So go ahead and check out the ZNN Patreon so you can also join and be kind of part of the podcast.
Yeah, contribute in your own special way, you know? And speaking of, we have been listening to your comments. We've read through all the comments on the various videos so far, and thank you all so much for your suggestions for our book club. And we have decided that we will go with Zootopia by Pandora, or Paperclip Butterfly. She's really cool, she's a good friend of mine, and I can vouch for her storytelling. This will be fun.
So go ahead and check out her story.
Check out our Zootopia, and you have 1 month to read it, and so do we. Let's see, how long is it again? 85,000 words, 28 chapters, so, that's something we could do in a month, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, we have time.
Yeah. So, if you go ahead and get started, we'll be checking up on that in a month. I think that's it for announcements and such, yeah?
Yeah, so we'll hear about you guys about this reading in June.
Yes, because this is the episode coming out in May. Right. Yes. June sounds good. So, what are we talking about today, Pinkstar?
Well, in place of talking about Kalkov and her comic, well, today we're going to talking about video games. Because
I don't play video games no more. I never play video games. Sorry, that's a Jack Black song.
It's okay.
So yeah, video games. One of the more underrated parts of Zootopia semi-canon, you know? Because, let's be real, Disney kind of sucks when it comes to video games. They really don't know what to do. I mean, okay, what is a really good Disney video game?
Yeah, it's really tough to think about it. Going in the Zootopia part of it, well, in general, the
Even Disney in general.
Well, the Disney Infinity franchise started out nicely. While the story, it doesn't have much story technically, but it had a nice idea about including many characters. And if you had their figurines, you can have them interact with each other. And
yeah, that was cool. That was their whole entry into the whole Toys to Life genre, like the Skylanders or the Lego Dimensions, whatnot, you know?
yeah,
That was cool.
but I think the project ended up being a bit ambitious at the last part of the franchise, because at the end the idea was to put out a fourth release that will be Disney Infinity 4.0, which at the end it didn't happen because Disney Infinity 3.0 had poor sales compared to the previous releases.
But that studio did go on to make Hogwarts Legacy, so who's the real winner? Not Disney. Not Disney. They squandered them.
Well, it's not about video games featured in play, for instance, either in Xbox One or PlayStation or other Disney Nintendo Switch. Sorry, I mixed it up there, but yeah, it's not only about
Yeah.
playing it there in different consoles, but also mobile games, which are pretty popular today.
Mm, yeah. And I mean, Disney's kind of going the route of like having a bunch of crossovers in Fortnite. So if we ever have Nick and Judy appear in Fortnite, that would definitely be something.
We shall wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, they did just purchase a huge stake in Epic, so who knows? But I'm not holding my breath that Disney starts making actually like excellent games. The main video game that Disney has ever done that is fantastic that people love is Kingdom Hearts, and let's be real, that was just Square Enix like and Disney gave them permission to use the characters.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
and there wasn't a Zootopia level, so bad game 0 out of 10 from me.
It's too much to ask. Perhaps at Kingdom Hearts 4, maybe there will be a Zootopia universe in the game, but probably not because the game is going to be more focused on Sora as a character. But we shall wait and
It
see
would
what
be
they have
fun.
planned.
It would definitely be fun to see. I mean, we do have like an animal version of Sora, I believe, from one of the worlds. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I
In
was
the
in it,
meantime,
The Lion King.
yeah, I think it was the Lion King universe or something like that. I don't know. I never played the games. I looked online about like the story to try to see about catching up, and every single lore video about Kingdom Hearts story was like 12 hours long. Like
It's too much
it,
information.
it's not just that, it's like Square Enix style storytelling, so it is convoluted as heck, and I cannot wrap my mind around it. So I am not even going to try. Sorry, Kingdom Hearts fans. Sorry. I'm sure it's a fantastic game. I just couldn't get into it. But you know what games
And
we couldn't get into? These games we're talking about today.
yeah, there are a
So,
lot of there are many games that we can talk about related to Zootopia. But also, like I mentioned previously, the mobile games that are being played today, like talking about Japan, a game that's pretty popular over there. Over here, it's kind of like medium. I think it's a moderate success, but I think it's still more popular in Japan. It's the Disney Tsum Tsum game, which is
mhm,
practically
yeah.
a little. It's a mini game where you have to make combos, kind of like a puzzle game, but the Tsum Tsum, it's kind of like a little figurine, character figurine, but in a
Yeah, it's their
small,
little
in
plushy guys, right?
yeah, plushy guys, yeah, plushies.
Mhm,
Like they are very very small, like in chibi style or something like that. Very
mhm,
very in a more cartoonish way, and you
yep.
had to make combinations with it, and you play with it's called kind of like bingo games that you have to make combos, and you have to pop some bubbles so you can make more points. And so here you can see a little bit have a bit how the video game works somehow. I know
Mhm.
the explanation is a bit confusing, but it's pretty much a puzzle game, but it has a little bit more of its rules compared to the traditional way that it works, which is interesting because this is how Disney Emoji Blitzes work. It's kind of
Hmm.
more of a traditional puzzle game, kind of like Candy Crush style, where you also had to move the little pieces, so you can make also tons of points, so you can win prizes and things. Another mobile game that I also like to make a brief mention, it's one that's called Disney Magical Dice, which is currently
Magical dice?
Magical Dice, which is has been shut down. Like it was
Aw.
released by Netmarble. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of Netmarble.
Never, nope, never heard of it.
Netmarble has released different kinds of mobile games, and Disney Magical Dice only lasted around 2 years, I believe, from 2016 to 2018. And
Hmm.
basically, Disney Magical Dice it's practically Monopoly Disney version.
Huh.
That's
Okay.
basically it. But
Isn't there already a Disney monopoly?
kind of, but the thing about with Zootopia is that it had its special board. Like also you were
Okay.
able to see it in the on screen. You were able to see it that the Zootopia board for Disney Magical Dice it features lots of things as in you stop by, I don't know, like an Arcadia, you stop by City Hall, you stop at Skytram. But the main stops that you can find on the Zootopia board game were actually the DMB. Funny enough, the DMB.
Hmm.
You had the Animalia Stadium and the Savannah Central Station.
Okay.
You can also select to have to instead of using the train to in the middle of each road, you will be farming carrots.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, instead of the train, like if you ended up being at the center of instead of paying for using the train or so, you had to pay for the carrot farming. No, that was
Huh.
very funny.
So it's basically Monopoly, but like Disney movie themed, and there was Zootopia stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, basically.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I used to
Oh,
play it for a while and I really liked it.
okay. So what other games are there that feature Zootopia?
Yeah, like well, the ones I mentioned right now early on, well, are kind
Yeah,
of like
there's
just
the
little
Zoom Zoom,
cameos.
the Monopoly. Yeah, they're just cameo characters. Yeah, they're not the main focus.
Yeah, because there are another franchises that also present on the game itself. So another one that also it fits into the same category is Disney Magic Kingdoms, which is
Hmm.
basically like if for those who are familiar with the Disney parks, like you know that the main Disney park at Orlando, Florida is called Magic Kingdom. And it's kind of like a
Hmm.
nod to that because you it's basically building up your own Disneyland. There's a little bit of story because you see the characters from each franchise interacting with each other, and there are also Zootopia characters on this game. Like if from the Disney Magic Kingdoms, we have Judy, Nick, and we also have Chief Bogo and Flash on this game. And they're
Okay.
also featuring attractions where kids can go and interact. You don't actually see them, but you have this kind of like count mark where you can see how many kids are joining the ride and so if they're having fun, and you also do that to complete missions. And in this case for Zootopia attractions, well, you have the little rodentia, you have the CBD, you have a carrot farm and a popsicle stand.
That does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, and also including all the other Disney attractions and characters. It's also very nice to see kind of like I said, it's like the Disney park where you can see like you have an attraction here and another one at the other side. Yeah, it's pretty nice game, and it's also I think yeah it's still pretty popular because Magic Kingdoms it's still being going, it's still running. Like I think
Hmm.
the game has been going on for around 6 years, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, it has been included more and more franchises as time goes on.
But it's more based on the parks, yeah?
Yeah, in a little bit, but it still has a bit more. Like it has a kind of little bit of story, but within its own universe. The game was released on 2016, and it's still going today. Like yeah,
Hmm.
8 years. That's pretty much a very long time for the game to still be going on. And this is developed by Gameloft.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I think I've heard of them. So that's another of the mobile games, but what other ones are currently, like, active? Like, isn't there the Disney Mirrorverse game?
Oh, I haven't had much know about that one actually.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know much about it either, but I do know Judy is a playable character in it. I just looked up the page about it, and it's got like a sci-fi fantasy theme. So Judy's got kind of like almost power armor.
Oh
It's kind
yeah,
of
I think I
cool.
remember that. Like the image itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, what is Judy Hopps' role in the Mirrorverse? Judy Hopps has always been quick on her feet, but stellar magic amplified her athleticism, making her the fastest crime-fighting guardian around. Okay, so she's kind of a speedster. Okay, so it's like it gives them superpowers and stuff. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, we shall see more about that. Like, I really don't know much about it, so maybe I
Yeah,
should
me
also check
either.
it
Me
out.
either. Yeah, I mean, this one is still active and running. So,
Okay, we shall see what more awaits for this game.
yeah, definitely. So, what's next on the list?
Well, there's another current mobile game that is still going on today. It has been 6 years ever since it was first released. That it's called Disney Heroes Battle Mode, which is
Oh, yeah, I
basically
actually did play that one.
it's actually a crossover RPG style game,
Hmm.
which includes also characters from different Disney franchises. Like you
Hmm.
first start out with Incredibles and Wreck Ralph, for instance, but there are also
Hmm.
another characters that are being included as you continue the story. And Zootopia is also one of the kind of like one of the main franchises on the game because it's one of the very few that includes almost all the main characters of their own story. Like for instance,
Yeah, I remember like unlocking Nick, and he has a giant popsicle that he attacks you with,
yeah,
and like Judy's there. I don't remember what her move is, but isn't Finnick there also? Like he's got his van that he like rams into people with, right?
yeah, exactly. Actually, it's that was a little nod they had. Well, I want to believe that because in the Disney Infinity 3.0,
Hmm.
Nick also uses a giant popsicle as a weapon. So I think that was a little nod
Yeah.
they made on the Disney Heroes game.
Hmm.
So yeah, for instance, in this game Zootopia, the characters, well, so we have Judy and Nick, but it also includes Fennec, like you already mentioned. It has Yax, Chief Bogo, Flash. It includes Clawhauser. There's
Hmm.
also Mr. Big and Kozlov and
Huh.
Bellwether.
Really?
Yeah,
I. What sort of moves do they have? Do you know? Like,
I don't remember. Actually, I also played it pretty much early on. I also ended up dropping it because I got busy with other stuff. So I haven't really caught up with the current storyline. But for instance, I
okay.
think the most recent one they added from the Zootopia characters is Bellwether.
Okay, that's cool. I do remember that one of the fun things about that game was that like they had basically cutscene interactions for almost every combination of characters, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
like the characters interact with themselves, but also with characters from other franchises. For
mhm.
instance, I remember that with Judy, Judy could interact, for instance, with Fix It Felix from Wreck Your Ralph. Their
Yeah,
interactions were
yeah.
really funny.
Mhm.
Other characters, for instance, Disney, it was called friendship campaigns. And for instance, with Fennec, his friendship campaign is with Judy. And also, their
Mm.
interactions are kind of interesting, also because the interactions with her are very different than with Nick. Oh, I remember that Nick had a friendship campaign. I think it was with Yax. I think.
Huh. That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah. Oh, I another remember one. Judy with Jesse from Toy Story.
Oh, right, the cowgirl one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, it's been a while since I've seen Toy Story. That sounds like a fun combination.
Yeah, Judy has also, I think, friendship campaign with Chief Bogo, I believe.
That makes sense.
The one I haven't done yet because I that's where I dropped the game. Is Mr. Big and Judy, which kind of makes sense considering that Frou Frou
Yeah,
um is the one that being saved by Judy, and her daughter is now,
named after
um,
her. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. Well,
Who
that's fun.
else for the? I'm here. I'm looking at what other crazy combinations we see in the friendship campaigns. Like here, let me see. Clawhauser has friendship campaign with Bolt. Remember
With
the dog?
Bolt. Huh, yeah.
It has
I
a friendship
did not see
campaign
that coming.
with Powerline from the
Wait,
Goofy movie.
from the Goofy movie?
Yes, Powerline is featured on the game
Wait,
too.
Clawhauser and Powerline.
Yep.
I hope that they see eye to eye.
Yeah, another character with Clawhauser is Lei Shang from Mulan. Let's see, who has friendship campaign with Bogo?
Basically, everybody can be friends with Clawhauser.
Yeah. Well, he's one of the most adorable characters in the movie, so yeah.
Yeah, he's friends with everybody.
Yeah. Let's see, who else has... Let's see, Chief Bogo, he has friendship campaign with Merida from Brave.
Huh.
Interesting combo.
Yeah, that is very interesting combo.
Oh, this one's a nice one. Calhoun from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, right. The, first-person shooter girl.
Yeah.
Sergeant Calhoun, yeah.
For those who don't know, well, she is currently Fix-It Felix's wife, so yeah.
Yep, mm-hmm.
Who else? Let's see. Goliath from the Gargoyles.
Really?
Yeah, that's an interesting combo.
Chief Bogo with Goliath. Okay, 2 giant powerhouses. Yeah, I can see it. I just didn't expect that.
Yeah. Oh, this one's very funny. Jack.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Jack from The Incredibles.
Okay.
That sounds interesting too.
I cannot imagine how that goes. Does Bogo have to babysit him or something?
I don't know. I also try to figure that. Jack has friendship campaign with Violet, which makes sense because she's
well, yeah, sibling.
Their family. Mike Wazowski also has a friendship campaign with Jack. So
okay.
Well, it kind of makes sense
considering where it came from, or so help me.
Exactly. Mike also has to work on making him laugh. Maybe, I don't know.
Possibly, I don't know, but no, that's funny. Who's Bellwether got friendship campaigns with?
Let's see, Bellwether. Who has friendship campaign with Bellwether? She has friendship campaign with Demona from Gargoyles too.
Really?
And
okay, evil villain lady.
And fun enough, Agent P.
What?
Yeah, with Perry the Platypus.
What?
I don't know how will that work.
I can't do the Perry voice, but she had better be like, what are you, a platypus? You're Perry the Platypus.
Oh yeah, well, Doofenshmirtz is also in the game, so yeah.
Okay. A sheep? Bellwether the sheep?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All the crazy combos here, it's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta know. Who's got friendship with Flash?
Oh yeah, Flash. Oh, Dash.
Okay, I saw that one coming. I did see that one coming.
Yeah. Dash and Fred from Big Hero 6.
Really? I don't see the connection there, but alright. I could have imagined, Go-Go from Big Hero 6, you know? All 3 are, speedsters.
Yeah.
She's the speedy one, yeah?
Let's see, who else has friendship campaign? One missing. Mr. Big? He has friendship campaign with Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Okay, yeah, I can see it. Kozlov carrying him around, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah, okay.
This one's interesting. Sweetums from the Muppets.
Who?
Sweetums.
Oh, that's Sweetums.
Yeah,
I didn't know that thing had a name.
Yeah.
Let alone that it was Sweetums. Okay.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget that the Muppets are also featured here.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. That checks out. Sweetums is holding Kermit, Kozlov holds Mr. Big. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, something I really like from this from Disney Heroes Battle Mode, it includes franchises that you will think are kind of forgotten or living in the dark. It brought out for instance, I don't know, mentioned a Goofy movie, It has
Hmm.
Powerline. It includes the Great House Detective. Like you have Basil here in the game.
Huh. I'm surprised Basil hasn't got a friendship campaign with Judy.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Let's see. Basil, who has friendship campaign with Basil? Basil has campaign with Mushu and Randall. Chippendale
Okay.
too.
Okay. Huh.
He also
This is
has.
fascinating. This is definitely like some fascinating crossovers and I would love to see like if somebody uploaded like all their dialogue or something, you know?
Yeah. He has also talking about Yax. He also has friendship campaign with Tia Dalma from Pirates of the Caribbean
Huh.
and Fennec.
Okay.
Fennec and
I can
Jackson.
see that.
Yeah, and also Frozone.
And Frozone. Okay then. Did we go over Finnick?
Oh, Fennec. Well, I did mention that he had friendship campaign with Yudi, but who else? Oh, Dash. Also
Hmm.
Dash. He
Okay.
has friendship campaign with Fennec. Both Nick and Judy. Megabolt.
Megabolt?
Megabolt from the Darkwing Duck franchise.
I'm sorry, who?
Megabolt, that's what it's called.
I have never heard of. Okay. I'm guess I. Oh geez, I thought I was a huge Disney fan. Like I'm being put to shame here. Jeez.
I shared the character.
I have never seen this man once in my life.
Yeah, you never watched Darkwing Duck.
Apparently. Okay then.
Yeah, it's kind of like it, but like there are also other different crazy combinations of with other franchises. So for those who are interested in something like this, you can go check out Disney Heroes Battle Mode. It's been going too long actually because it has a lot of chapters. I think currently, I don't know what. Let me see. What's the current chapter here on the
Way
main
too many.
story? Chapter 72 maybe, or I don't know how much chapters, because
Way
there's
too
also
many.
there are billion teams as well, and for instance Bellwether is featured in one of the teams.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because well she's villain.
Hmm. Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. That is fascinating. Yeah. Are there any more games like that you wanted to talk about?
I only wanted to make a brief mention to Disney Infinity 3.0. Like we know
Right.
it only features Judy and Nick, but it's also a crossover game. Like
Yeah. One of the ZNN staff members, Agent Exeter, he managed to get the levels unlocked and everything. Or were they re-released? I don't actually remember what the situation was, but he was showing me some of the uh some footage of them, like some gameplay.
oh yeah,
And
like you could download a special toy box of do a story with either character.
yeah. And I mean, that one has the special feature of actually having Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman voice Nick and Judy.
Yeah, that's what I love about that game.
Hmm. So we get some fun little dialogue there.
Yeah.
All right, well, shall we get to the big one then?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Zootopia did have one official game that was entirely about Zootopia. And I'm not talking about the Chinese one. Like, we'll talk about that at another point, but like, right now, I want to talk about Zootopia Crime Files.
Oh
Did you ever play
yeah.
Crime Files?
Yeah, I actually ended up completing the game up until that sad point where the story got on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So let's dive into that then. So, for those who don't know, Zootopia Crime Files was a mobile game from Hibernum Creations. It's a company in Canada, but they went out of business. It is a hidden picture style game. So, basically, it'll give you a scene and will have a whole bunch of crap just everywhere, and you have to find specific things within it. So it released April 19th, 2016 in Australia, then May 16th in Canada, July 6th on Windows, and then finally it came to mobile devices in the US on August 17th as like a revamped version. So there's actually two versions of it, the original version and then the revamped version.
I
Yeah.
only ended up playing it on mobile when it was
Mhm.
already like the final version of it.
Yeah. So it was interesting. Like, so one of the things about it was that I've got a lot of notes here. So it was basically each split case was split into 9 different crime scenes that you'd go visit and you would like find things within it, and there'd be a bunch of objects, but only one or two would be like relevant to the case. The rest were just things to find to get points. You'd choose a partner to investigate with who would provide hints in case you got stuck. So those were Chief Bogo, Fangmeyer, Reinowitz, Grizzoli, and Clawhauser, and you'd get points based on the number of objects you find, the time it takes to find them, and the number of hints you used. But it wasn't actually a rating of performance. It was a combined score of every time you played the scene. So the more you play it, the more you get 5 stars, which is important because stars were used to progress the story. You'd use stars to talk to suspects and analyze evidence, which the evidence could take real life time, often minutes or hours, or use a star, or sometimes even both. Yeah, it was a pretty decent gameplay loop. You'd have a cutscene, you'd go do an investigation, you'd have another cutscene, you'd interview a suspect, that would cost a star. Basically, you'd have to do a bunch of stuff like that until you got to the point where you could accuse someone, and then you'd solve the case. Interestingly enough, like that was just part 1 of a case. Then part 2 would basically be like wrapping up any like other character stuff. So you'd revisit characters and scenes and like talk with them and get to know them a bit more. It was pretty interesting. A lot of replayability. But it was a mobile game in the mid 2010s, like mid to late 2010s. So you know what that means? Microtransactions.
Exactly. You had to, if you want to continue playing the game, you had to pay it up.
Yep. So they had a couple of different in-game currencies. So there were the Z-Bucks, which you bought with real money. You could earn 2 of them by watching an ad. I actually played it on the Amazon web store or game store, which actually removed all Z-Bucks, so that was interesting. Oh my goodness, some of the prices were absurd. Like a starter pack had 50 Z-Bucks plus 50k coins, which I honestly don't know what the coins were for. 3 pies and 5 popsicles. You want to know how much that cost?
How much?
$30.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember if I ever paid up any of the packs that the game
I
offered.
didn't.
I did. I think I didn't.
I know I didn't. And you know what? That's probably what led to the studio going out of business.
That's so sad.
It is, but like, come on, you guys. You really should have had better monetization from the get go. Like, microtransactions like that, everyone hates them. And yeah, people were still doing that at the time, but come on.
They could have improved that.
Yeah, it could have been a lot better. I'm a business major, I know how it goes, but like, you can't irritate your customers with your monetization.
Oh,
So,
let's talk. Oh, can I make a brief mention?
oh
Something
yeah,
very
yeah.
crazy. As I don't think you have already mentioned that the game was shut down practically
Mhm.
a year after the game was officially released.
Yeah, in December 18th, 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, well, I actually downloaded it in my smartphone many years ago, but
Mhm.
I'm currently using another smartphone. And what I did is to make an
But you've still
um,
got it?
yeah, I currently enter the app. I still have the Zootopia Crime Files app, and I can still
Mhm.
play it.
Oh, nice.
Like
Huh.
I don't know how I did it. I think it's because when I had my new phone, I requested to make to replicate all the info that my previous phone had.
Oh,
So
nice.
maybe,
So you copied everything over and kept all the files.
yep.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
basically, I just entered the game and it's like I'm playing it right from the start.
oh, nice.
But well,
That's
because
cool.
I have it in Spanish, because well,
Well, of
my
course.
the default language in my case it's Spanish.
Right.
That's
More good news on
interesting.
that front. And
Yeah.
the Zootopia Discord server, not the ZNN one, but the other Zootopia one, actually has on their website the unofficial mirror for Crime Files, so you can still download it and play it. You need an Android emulator, but you can still play it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you can still download it to Android devices or emulators on, like, BlueStacks to play it on PC. So we'll have a link to that in the description. There we go. And yeah, so there's all that. And basically, they're getting back to it. There were two types of microtransactions. There was also energy. Basically, energy was how much you could play the game. Each investigation cost energy, but doing other things would gain it, like finishing an analysis or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could buy power ups to get it, like juice boxes for 10 energy, popsicles for 25, or pies for 60. One pie was worth 100 Z bucks.
Oh,
No. No, 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 no.
no, no.
No, 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 no. Yeah. So it is possible to play it without engaging in microtransactions, but be ready to wait a long time. The timers were pretty long
Oh,
for energy to refresh and for, like, analysis to be completed. But they justify it by having one of the characters be named Harriet, who is the ZPD's forensic analysis, who is, you guessed it, a sloth.
yeah. And I'm actually with her that she just is currently analyzing a red fabric.
Exactly. Wait, you're playing it now?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so that's the first case. To give a bit of a history, though, there were a total of, let me see, 16 cases that were released. Each one would take roughly an hour or so of time to finish up, you know? The first two were actually different in the original version of the game. The first one in the current version, the final version, is called The Wolf of Paw Street, which I love the names. The names are fantastic, but it was originally A Jewel of a Nut. It's basically the same story, it's just that rather than like a piece of fabric that gives it away that the rodent was the culprit, it was like a nut that had a bunch of saliva on it. Essentially, each one of the cases is a self contained little mystery, doing everything from someone like serially slashing tires to jailbreak to fruit theft, stuff like that, you know?
Yep.
Basically, you would follow Nick and Judy as you went across Zootopia doing various stories and such, and you'd encounter a whole bunch of characters. Like, there are so many introduced characters in this game. Totally new, and they are pretty great.
Yeah.
I have to say. Like,
The
they're my favorite part of the
suspects,
game.
the suspects, the witnesses.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you've got everything from Ramona, who is a female leopard who is suspected of robbing a couple's wedding rings. She looks like a zombie because she is a zombie. Officially, that's her job. She is the wedding officiant for zombie weddings. She's a singing zombie wedding officiant. And that's just wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Uh,
has there are many different characters that really are kind of like stand out, even if their part on the story it's small,
mhm.
because they really bring out different kind of like environment to the game depending on the case they are trying to solve.
Yeah,
There was this
exactly.
one that's called, I don't remember how was it called. It was a singer. it was a performer that apparently Nick admired or something like that. But I think it
Yeah.
was the culprit in their respective case. Well, I don't remember that much, but that
Yeah.
it was a culprit, right?
I think so. I do remember that there was basically an Elvis impersonator.
Yeah. I was actually thinking it's kind of like a bit old school ish, the type of outfit they will use. But yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of characters, and I'll just name them out quickly. There's Harriet the Sloth, Detective Oates the Horse, and we will come back to Detective Oates.
Yes. Yes.
Rodney the Tree Squirrel, Merle the Hamster, Fern the Beaver, who I love her design, by the way. She is very sassy teenager. Um, Earl the Elephant, Colby the Mouse, Mitch the Bear, Marie the Cheetah, Two-Ton Teddy the Hippopotamus, Antonio the Tiger, Kevin the Porcupine, Lance the Lemming, Louise the Lemming, Janine the Giraffe, Victor the Possum, Donna the Mouse, Dinks the Gerbil, Wilfred the Wolf, Leonard the Antelope, Phil the Raccoon, Dribs the Weasel, Le Rouge the Red Panda. Oh, this guy is fun. Reuben the Porcupine, Gia the Giraffe, Chuckles the Wolverine. And
Oh,
we'll
I
come back to
remember
him
him.
too.
Yeah, I remember Chuckles. Yeah.
Yep. Clara the Mouse, Dino the Pack Rat. Yeah, he's kind of like a lounge singer type. Shoot, I lost my place in the list. But there are tons and tons of characters. And
There's an otter, right?
yeah.
There's an otter who was crushing on Nick, I think. Is it my imagination? But yeah, I think she tried to ask him out on a date or something like that.
Really?
I think so.
I'm trying to figure out where,
It's an otter. She has a
Chris.
flower.
Chris.
Chris, yeah. She had a flower
Yes, Chris.
in her head.
Yes, she flirts with Nick saying he's awfully cute and she is awfully single. And she asks if he would call her sometime. Which is adorable. She is very cute. So, you know what? Props to that. Yeah, there is just so much. There are recurring characters, of course. There's Judy and Nick, obviously. There's Clawhauser, Chief Bogo. Finnick makes an appearance. Flash does as well. Jerry Jumbo Jr. in the early version. And then the Frantic Pig actually gets a name. He was Actually, he gets two names. In the first version, he is Paul. In the second version, he is Raoul.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why they made that change, but that's what his name is apparently. And honestly, fanfic writers, there is so much potential here.
Yeah,
there are so many fun characters. Like, come on, you guys. They're handed to you on a silver platter.
Yeah. If I can, another small shout out to AEMX, who has done the story of Thicker Than Blood, who has featured some of the characters we have seen in this game. So yeah.
Nice.
Like it features Chris, it features Chuckles. Who else has been featured from the game? I don't remember. I'm trying to remember, but there's some mentions.
LaRouche didn't.
I think he did. LaRouche, yes. He made a brief cameo on the story, and also another cameo. It's obviously Detective Oates.
Yeah. So let's build up to that. LaRouche is also very flirty. He is a thief who is very much proud of himself, and he says he is not an interior designer, he is a thief, but strikes at he is a successful entrepreneur. Yes. Then Judy asks him if he's wearing perfume, and he says he likes to be aromatic when romantic. It's so good. But the overall story of the game is tied together with this conspiracy going on in the background of the Sequoia Towers project.
Yes.
All of which is masterminded by a Wolverine named Chuckles, who is a very interesting character. Just say right now, if you intend to play the game right now, spoilers, but it's been dead and abandoned for like 7 years now, so I think I'm safe in spoiling some stuff. Yeah?
It's
So,
really sad that the game as it wasn't being able to be continued because it had
yeah,
so much potential.
it did. It did. They just botched the monetization, I'd guess, but I'd have to do a bit more of a deep dive into what happened at the company. But essentially, Chuckles' overall plan is that he wants to flood Zootopia so that he can make a swamp habitat.
Yeah, the story ended with the CPD trying to go after him, and after that we don't know.
Yeah, he gets caught in case number 6, but then he breaks out in case number 9. And then he's referred to at several other points, but the game ends with him still on the loose because it all shut down like at number 16 when they had plans on going further.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he is very interesting. And it's also really funny because, like, there are definitely swampy areas within Zootopia.
That
Like,
will
the
be
Rainforest
in
District
rainforest.
exists.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Rainforest, because well,
Hmm.
it's the only place they could be because well, the Sahara, like the central part of Zootopia, like well,
Yeah.
obviously not. Sunred Town, obviously not, and uh, what was the other? Oh, Little Rodentia, no. Which it has four main districts, right?
Hmm.
What was
Like,
the other
there
one?
are 16 unique ecosystems in Zootopia, Tundra Town, Sahara Square, Rainforest District, to name a few. So, yeah, no. His whole plan is stupid, but he makes for a fun villain. Because he is just so enthusiastic and very flamboyant about it. He's fun. But that brings us to the standout character from this game.
Yeah.
The best introduced character, Detective Oates. Detective Oates is a famous horse detective. He's always got a wheat stalk in his mouth. According to Judy, he is a legend in law enforcement. He speaks mostly in vague metaphors that don't really make much sense. Judy, she understands him, but Nick doesn't.
That's the funniest part.
Yeah, he finds him so annoying, and he is always, like, having quips and comebacks towards him. Like, but brace yourself, Pinkstar,
Yep.
because I have 2 whole pages of Detective Oatesisms. I went
This should
through
be
the whole
good.
game and got all of his metaphors.
Okay.
You ready for this?
All right.
Sometimes your mane is flying in the wind, and sometimes the wind is flying in your mane. Sometimes the longer you swat, the more flies you kick up. We're rounding the last turn of the track, and Justice is ahead by 4 lengths. Louise always looked like she was fixing to gallop instead of trot. You know, my Nana had a saying, if you're going to grow your tail long, make sure you don't step on it. She was wise, my Nana, clumsy too. You're both keen observers, but it ain't enough to be keen. You gotta be lean and mean. Just keep pulling up those roots, and sooner or later you'll find the turnip you're after. Sometimes, officers, something looks different from far away than when you're up close, or when you're in the dark versus the light, or when your eyes are closed versus when they're open. It's like I always say, when one case closes, another opens, or 3 cases in this case. Sometimes cases have a way of being solved before they start. Well, if I was right all the time, how would I know when I was wrong? Like a scene in a museum, this picture is becoming as clear as a tableau frozen in time. This is a crime wrapped inside a mystery, like a delicious treat with a soft, chewy center. Just don't break your tooth on it. Eyes in the sky can't beat hooves on the ground. You're dealing with small suspects in a small investigation, but big things are at stake. A hoarder is a collector, like a police officer is a collector. One of them collects garbage, while the other just has too many things in their home. I feel like that's a bit like of a self-call out there. Remember, officers, fruit can be sweet, but it can also contain pits, which are just seeds that turn into new fruits, that make more pits. And so it goes. Alright, fruit can get rotten, but you know what else can? The souls of criminals. Also cheese. The grass may be greener on the other side of the fence, but that doesn't mean it makes a better juice. So don't let any more grow under your feet. I genuinely have no idea what he means by that. No animal wants to be in a cage. Freedom is a powerful call, so don't be surprised when someone picks up the phone and answers. I don't know what voice this is now. It's going a bit gravelly.
Yeah, that's a sad
bit
thing.
more. Gotta go for more of a Western twang. Yeah, this game deserved voice acting.
Yeah, that's how I was actually gonna say. Like, sadly, this game doesn't have voiceover. Like, it would have been really cool to hear all these other characters, and for obvious reasons, these characters won't appear on the sequel. Sadly,
I hope Detective Oates gets a cameo at least.
at least
He is
yes.
so fun.
Yeah, and technically, while the game is shut down, technically it's still Disney property, so they can do something about it.
They can own it. They can do stuff, you know?
Hopefully.
Anyways, more Detective Oatesisms. You can do 3 things with a seal. You can seal an envelope, you can seal the deal, or you can seal your fate. That's it.
Nice.
So, the vice is tightening. But before you squeeze too tight, just make sure the hand that's doing the squeezing is your own. Also, don't be in the vice. I don't know. A crime needs to be uncovered before you can get at the naked truth. As police officers, sometimes we're nothing but a fig leaf hiding the secrets of justice. Sometimes crime leaves behind a scent, an odor, the unmistakable waft of lawlessness. Or it's just a skunk. Sometimes if you want to solve a case, you've got to get your paws dirty. Don't be afraid to sling a little mud. A pawn shop swaps goods for cash, but be careful because sometimes the goods turn out to be bads. Time is like an arrow that's curved, which makes it a boomerang and not an arrow at all. Makes you think. In a cosmic sense, we're all being robbed. Of time, and sometimes parking spaces. Sometimes magic cloaks itself in a sparkly sequined cape, and so does justice. When everyone has a mobile device, there are eyes everywhere. But what happens when those eyes are blinded, or lose their sense of smell? When everyone has devices, there are eyes everywhere. And eyes come in pairs, and pairs come in twos.
Okay. Nice.
They say when one door closes, another door opens. But what if it's a sliding door, or a door stop, or a door mouse, or a door prize, or adorable?
Good one.
When someone is wrong, they say they're all wet. But what happens when someone who says it is wrong? Do 2 wrongs make a wet?
Huh?
I don't know. Water is like justice. It flows downhill and congregates in one place, sometimes for enjoyment, sometimes to drown. And sometimes water spills over where it's supposed to go, just like crime. A convention is a group of like-minded individuals, not unlike a box of crayons. So ask yourself, who's in charge of putting the crayons in the box? And the second question is, why do the crayons smell so good?
That's actually a pretty good question.
Yeah. Sometimes crime and justice exchange vows and form a sacred union. Other times they exchange insults and form a bitter resentment. In both cases, they feed each other cake. A costume might disguise someone, but it also reveals who they are, even if their identity remains a mystery. Also, wearing a cape is fun. He is correct there. A ring is a circular thing, but everyone focuses on what's inside the circle, when really they should be thinking of what's outside.
Okay.
And that's all the Detective Oatisms I could find. But yeah, there's Nick's reactions are great. He's always just like, "What are you talking about?"
You will think, considering that he's also pretty smart, he will also understand his mannerisms, his quotes, but
No,
apparently
Judy's the
not.
only one who does. Judy gets it. She always knows exactly what he's trying to say, and Nick's just like, "Huh? How did you get that from that?" It's great. So, there are a few other fun little lore tidbits that are sprinkled throughout the game. We mentioned that the one girl named Chris, the otter, had a crush on Nick. But did you know that Finnick has a lady friend?
Oh yeah, I remember that too. Yes.
Yeah. He actually tricks Nick and Judy into not only finding a piece of, like, a necklace for her, but fixing it up, which it was not fixed before. So he's just like, haha, suckers. Finnick is great in this.
Yes. I
He
actually,
just eats it up.
now you mentioned it, yeah, now I remember that. Yeah, he was kind of like he kind of hustled them to helping him. So yeah,
Yeah, he
for
totally
getting
did.
his present ready for give out to his lady friend. Obviously,
hmm
her identity is unknown. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly. But one can dream. There is plenty of fan art of Finnick and Gazelle. For some reason, even though she is way out of his league.
And that's something that I've always been kind of like being curious, like how did the defender come up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But another fun tidbit is that Nick had a crush on a girl named Marion in school. Robin Hood reference? I'm thinking
Perhaps.
so.
Well, considering that technically Robin Hood in general was kind of like also the inspiration to create Zootopia according to Byron. What? Howard? Yeah.
Howard, yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, perhaps it is a reference.
Yeah. Almost certainly. But she did not like when Nick wrote all over her journal, like, because he had a crush on her.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was also kind of like being an Easter egg on the Liquid and Blood story. Sorry,
Oh,
keep
neat.
yeah, I
We keep
sorry.
coming back to that, but
Yes, exactly. I really
it's a
love the
good
story
story.
that much. I really think it's kind of like oh, how was this
You
called?
know what? Maybe we can do that for next book club, but we'll get through our Melotopia first.
Yeah, for the next lecture from June to July. That would be nice.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Oh, and to cap it all off, Clawhauser is a huge nerd who knows the ranks of the Zootopia's Star Trek equivalent. So, yeah, that's a brief rundown of Zootopia Crime Files, and like I said, you can still play it. There is a link in the description here, and go check it out because I'm not doing it justice. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff in this. Like, there's a case that is, like, Groundhog Day based, where they keep having to, like, investigate this one store that keeps getting broken into over and over again, and Nick keeps making deja vu jokes. There's another where, like, somebody takes out an insurance claim on a possum who goes missing, whose body goes missing,
Oh.
and is just found wandering around because he wasn't actually dead because he's a possum.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
He
And
was passed
just,
out for some reason. Apparently, it had something to do with his
yeah, he's got, like, narcolepsy and amnesia.
Yeah,
So he'll just randomly fall asleep and forget how he got there.
sure.
Just so many fun characters, and it really does. Like, I really wish they'd finished it, you know? At the very least, they could have, like, published the notes on what they were going to do with it.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like it has a lot going on in the game. Like it's very sad that it didn't have a follow up because it really ended up being on a very interesting note.
Yeah.
Or perhaps they could have done a comic out of it.
Yeah, something. Just some way to finish it up, you know?
Yeah.
But, though speaking of comics, we do have the one
Which it
where
is?
it's Detective Oates. Here,
Oh, let's see.
do you want to read the Judy parts?
Let's see.
It's just called Oh No. So if you want to read Judy's parts, I'll read Detective Oates.
Detective Oates, sir, I've always wondered, how do you use your phone to call us?
Oh, that's easy, Officer Hobbs. I'll even give you a demonstration. And then Judy wakes up.
Nick, wake up!
uh,
Nick, I just had to wear a string with Detective Oates.
Spare me the details, Carrots. It's so good. It is so good.
Now, that actually think about it. Did we ever have horses on the movie? I don't think.
Yeah, we did. There was horses in
But
the
we don't
movie.
see them actually using their smartphones.
Not smartphones, but we see them using cameras.
How do they do that?
I don't know.
Too many questions we need answers to.
Yeah. Or maybe we don't need answers, as this proved. Um, maybe this is information that should not be widely known. Anyways. So, that's basically Crime Files. So much potential for good stories. It got cut off too soon. But I am imploring fanfic writers to take some of the characters, use them, give them new life, because there are so many that are just so good. Such good characters. It really helps flesh out the world of Zootopia quite a bit.
Yeah, it would be really nice to read what ideas you have with these characters. Like, take a
Like,
make use
what
of
would it.
AMX example. Follow his
Yeah,
example of including them in the Zootopia universe in your own stories. Like, it's pretty nice to see the original characters that authors come up with, but you can also take the potential these characters have.
yeah, exactly. Like, any one of them could make for at least a good short story. Like, I would love to see a story about Nick going on a date with Chris the Otter. You know?
Yeah.
Or, like, the La Rouge, like, constantly hitting on Judy and her shutting him down. So, yeah, I think that's about all we've got to say on this topic.
Well, in another moment, we can also talk about the Zootopia Chinese game.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes. Let's touch on that before we finish up. Because we have been going for well over an hour now. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we'll have to touch on this one kind of quick because neither of us speaks Chinese, nor do we have access to it, right?
Yeah, because the game also shut down quite a little bit ago.
Not only that, but it was only available via Tencent, which is like one of like a Chinese app. Like you have to be on Chinese social media and stuff to even access it.
I actually did.
Yeah, I tried to as well.
I played it
I
for a
didn't get
while in
far.
my phone. I didn't get that far actually.
Yeah,
But
well,
I
tell us
only
about it.
see spoilers of it on YouTube gameplays,
Hmm.
and also in Tumblr I could see some sort of spoilers from the game. But basically, this game that it's a literal meaning it's Zootopia, the Diary of Realizing Your Dreams, but it was adapted to Zootopia, Your Dream Diary.
Which is
Well,
a pretty dumb name, but
yep, but that's how it was titled. It says that while taking place after the events of the movie, many parts of Zootopia have now fallen into disarray, and it's up to the player and Judy to rebuild the city.
hmm,
And
it's one
basically,
of
what
those
you
types of mobile games, right?
yeah, mobile
Like the
games.
Farmville or like the like Lily's Garden or whatever it's called, like that type, right?
Exactly, and a kind of like a emoji blitz. You have to do some combos with in the game, like the games that we play a lot nowadays. To have, how is it called, to beat the level, so you can have the material needed to continue the story and so on. And
Mm-hmm.
something that
Right.
this game also feature is that depending on the season, the characters will get updated with new outfits. Like for instance, in the during Chinese the New Year, Nick and Judy had another outfit also for Halloween, for Christmas too. They
Mm-hmm.
had different outfits. That will had interesting look on
Mm-hmm.
their 3D models.
Okay.
Like I was called it. I don't remember much of the actual characters. I know there were some called beavers. I think they were beavers in the
Mm-hmm.
game that kind of like played as constructors or something that will be helping rebuilding some of the buildings around Zootopia and so. But yeah, I don't remember much of the actual game. But I remember that it have its bit of popularity considering that China really loved Zootopia.
Yeah. Yeah. That trouble is like they never ported it outside of China.
Yeah, which is sad because it had lots of potential.
Yeah. But there was one scene in particular that got everyone like stirred up.
Yep. I think I know which one you're referring to.
Yeah. At the epilogue, I think.
Yeah, there is a picture, well, a drawing, yeah, of Judy and Nick looking up at the waterfalls. I think
And Nick was holding something in particular.
there was a bouquet, and in the bouquet there was a hidden present.
Uh huh. A certain sparkly diamond ring.
Yep.
Mm hmm.
And this technically is an official, well, was an official game technically because, well,
Yeah.
Disney gave them the license to create this game. So
Mm hmm.
that here you can see how much China really loved the
Yeah.
ship.
Oh, yeah. China absolutely was the ultimate Wild Top shipper.
And it still holds up in a way with the Disney parks.
Yeah, they. But that's a topic for another
For
time.
another, yeah, it can
For another
be.
episode.
Yeah, I have also a lot to talk about there about the Disney parks, but yeah.
I think that about covers it for Zootopia games, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's also been featured in other mobile games, but like very small cameos, kind of like we have previously mentioned, like Emoji Blitz or Disney Tsum Tsum,
Mm hmm.
where
Yeah.
they're not that relevant. But yeah.
Mm hmm. But what we have is admittedly meager. But, like, we were able to discuss all the Zootopia games within an hour and a half. Disney, if you're listening, maybe consider doing a bit more with this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Like, there's a lot of potential here. You,
Yeah, to include it on your stories for those writers out there, or to create pretty interesting comics or drawings with these characters.
mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And as Crime Files proved, you can do a lot with the world and create new characters. Like, give us more Detective Oates. I just want more Detective Oates.
Yeah, he really has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm. Maybe at least a cameo. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up, yeah? Anything else you want to add?
Well, it's really been a really fun episode because it has been a while I want to talk about video games where Zootopia is featured at, and it was a really good opportunity to do it in this time.
Yeah. So, again, thank you all so much for supporting this podcast. It's been going pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, like we all like to hear about your comments, what you think. What was your experience? Did you ever get the chance to play Crime Files, for instance, or have you got the chance to play Disney Heroes Battle Mode or any other of the games that we have previously mentioned here at the
Mhm.
podcast? Have you ever got the chance to play it? What
And
were your
were there any
experiences?
that we missed?
That
Any
too.
that skated under our radar?
Yeah, any game that you like to mention that hey, you could have mentioned this game, but there's also Zootopia stuff featured over there. Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, we'd be happy to look into it. Maybe do a follow-up episode on this one day. Who knows?
That would be fun. Yes.
Yeah. Alright, well, until next time, I'm Andy Lagopis.
And I'm Pinkstar.
And thank you all so much for listening. Boom.